Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to Friday's English lesson. Today we're going to be finishing off our dreams instructions, and that will be the end of our instructions module. So, look back at your plan, have it in front of you, and look back at it and think about where did you get to yesterday. By now you should have got your title, your introductory sentence, your list of ingredients, and then you would have started writing some of your paragraphs, adding detail to them, which is what we went through yesterday. Wherever you've got to is where you're going to start from today. So you need to look carefully at the instructions that you're going to be covering today and think about how you can make them really interesting. Now, yesterday we were adding a whole variety of sentence openers. We looked at time conjunctions, we looked at adverbs, and we looked at ing openings. Can you think of any sentence openers that would give your reader some hints, tips, and safety precautions? One of my instructions was to add a sprinkling of dragons into the mixture. Now that sounds quite dangerous, so you might want to add a little bit of a warning beforehand. What about taking care not to get your fingers burnt? Gently add a sprinkling of dragons to the mixture. And then I could add a little bit of extra information on here. So, wearing protective gloves should ensure you do not burn yourself. So here I've added a little bit more information to the paragraph to give them some advice. So I've got taking care not to get your fingers burnt, gently add a sprinkling of dragons to the mixture. Wearing protective gloves should ensure you do not burn yourself. Okay, so you need to be thinking about how could you add extra information to make your paragraphs more interesting and perhaps give some advice to the person that's trying to make the recipe. So, you have already written your title, your introduction, your list of ingredients, and your first few instruction paragraphs. Now it's time to start to write the rest of your recipe, one paragraph at a time. And thinking about all the time, can you extend your ideas with better openers, some description about how to do something, and maybe some safety precautions and things that they need to be careful about? If you add a safety instruction, ing or ed opener, don't forget to check whether you need any commas. Read back carefully, checking your work, and do make sure that you're putting all your capital letters and your full stops in, and you're thinking about your handwriting at all times. Are you showing us what you can do? Because don't forget, we're happy to give out a pen license if we see brilliant writing on any of the things that you send in to us. So finally, when you've finished writing all your paragraphs, you need to write a suitable inclusion. We need to wrap up our writing. Now, it doesn't have to be very long. It's probably only a sentence, maximum 2 at most. So, for example, now you have your perfect dream mixture. Lay back and let your dream take you on a magnificent journey. Does that do it for you? Can you improve on that? What can you come up with? Off you go. Write your own conclusion. And then, when you've finished writing your whole recipe, you need to look back. It's really important that you do the editing process and that you go back through and read your recipe really carefully. Where could you add detail using brackets? Have you tried using sentence openers that give your readers hints, tips, and safety precautions? Be careful. Try not to, or always. Go back through. Where could you add some of these in? And then when you have finally finished, check your instructions against the checklist. Have you got a list of what's needed? A brief introductory line to tell the reader what the instructions are for? Have you got a list of steps and are they in chronological order? Have you used some time conjunctions to help order them in places? Have you used present tense? Have you used imperative verbs, our bossy verbs? Have you used technical vocabulary? Look back at the list earlier on in the week that we put together to help you do that. And have you got adverbs? And have you used brackets and a colon to introduce the list? And then finally, a concluding line reminding the reader of what the result will be if they follow the steps correctly. So tick off what you think you've done, perhaps give some examples to make sure you know that you're looking for the right thing. And then take a picture of your work and send it to us. Mrs. Roberts, Miss Bridges, Miss Dawes, Mrs. Morgan and I are really excited to see your writing. So once you've finished those fabulous instructions, send them off to us so that we can have a look and give you some great feedback. Look forward to reading them. And when you get there, have a great weekend. Well done, everybody. Great writing this week. Speak to you later. Bye.